It was a bitterly cold and foggy ride from Lisbon to the Algarve for the first stage of the Dakar. Icy temperatures and damp air biting into the muscles, adding to the apprehension that all will have felt before the adrenaline kicked in as the start countdown reached zero. And so it began, for some a little untidily perhaps, but for the locals a chance to shine. Local Ruben Faria thrilled the crowds, blasting his Yamaha through the stage 16 seconds faster than his closest rival. He claimed the first stage win, and glory for the Portuguese and for Yamaha. He wasn't alone either. Helder Rodriguez made it a 1-2 for the local riders and for Yamaha. No one is expecting the Portuguese to be on top of the podium in Dakar, but one of them may well be leading when we get to Morocco on Monday. So what of the expected front runners? Well, the best placed was Isidre Esteve. He'll be hoping that this morning's small crash has got his bad luck out of the way for 2007. Despite this fall, he heads the KTM hordes, though he's 5 minutes off the lead of the event. Frenchman David Castor, Esteve's water carrier, initially looked to have been the top KTM through the stage, but a timing error was later corrected, and he now sits just 7 seconds off his teammate's wheel. The tracks cut up badly and they cut up fast. Even the heroes were finding the going tough. Esteve and water carrier Castor are experienced in this going, but you don't perhaps expect a first stage to be quite so enduro. Castor had a narrow brush with the scenery. No real damage done, though he later joked that his only pair of trousers was looking very second-hand. 35-year-old Thierry Baptiste from France loves the sand. He's a 3-time winner of the grueling all-day Le Touquet Beach Marathon. No surprise, perhaps, then, to see the Honda Europe rider showing most of the field how it should be done. Baptiste was 5th on the stage, 6th, another surprise perhaps, Jonas Street, the fastest American rider. His Rally Pan America team KTM 525 just 19 seconds slower than the very latest factory model. Red Bull rider Chris Blaze might well have expected to be the top US man on this year's Dakar, and he may yet be, but not for the moment, trailing his compatriot by 14 seconds. He's 7th overnight. This early stage wasn't much to Paul Anders Oliveseter's liking. The Norwegian said the sand dug up very quickly to make deep ruts, and the huge numbers of spectators were at times worryingly close to the piste. 24-year-old Fabien Planet gained his free entry to this year's Dakar as the winner of the Dakar Enduro Challenge contest. His place in the top 10 this morning in 9th proves that we have a new young talent on our hands. And as for compatriot Cyril Desprez, well, he was forced to ride very slowly through the closing 4 kilometres of the stage. He was running out of gas and couldn't do anything other than keep the bike upright. The team had calculated the amount he should carry based on the length of the stage, but the soft sand and deep ruts had pushed fuel consumption right up. A surprise then to see Desprez in 10th, even more so to see Komar, last year's winner, in 13th position. But he knows the sands of Portugal won't be where the rally is won, but it can be easily lost here with any small mistake. Komar firmly believes the Dakar doesn't really start until you get to Africa. So confirmation then of the Portuguese and Yamaha 1-2. Isede Estre is the top international rider in 5th position, and out of the top 10, Mark Komar in 13th spot.
Correu muito bem. Era uma sessão muito técnica.
I rode pretty well, says Helder Rodriguez. It was a very technical stage, and from the beginning I pushed really hard. Later I managed to control the speed a bit more, so I didn't get too tired, and finally made it to the finish. It was quite a difficult stage though. Just so thrilled to finish in the top 3. Really happy for the team and delighted for the fans. Esteve said it was a very unusual stage with lots of sand, some of it very soft. It was like being on a Dutch motocross track, but it's a good warm-up for this rally, which is going to be very long, very tough, and probably very sandy. The main problem though was passing. You had to be careful. It was difficult to decide when to pass, on the left or on the right, because the track was so narrow. Not easy to find a good, safe place to get by. David Castor says, I was full throttle on the track. Suddenly, a privateer came straight out of the middle of the crowd. He'd stopped and then restarted, and I couldn't avoid him. Hit him on his front wheel. He fell to one side, I fell to the other. I stood up and I helped him and joined the race a bit, but I was feeling a little rattled after that. Mark Komar claimed his first Dakar win on last year's event, beating close rival Cyril Desprez in a tough fight to lift the illustrious trophy. Back home in Andorra, Mark's mechanics look after his bikes, including the one that he first finished a Dakar on in 2003. This is the bike that first finished the Dakar with me. Completely standard, really not a lot of extra preparation. The good luck for me, though, was that Nani Roma and Isidre Esteve both retired, so I got helped out by the factory mechanics. They then had time to work on my bike. So for me, the nights weren't quite as long as they had been. He's got super motard, enduro, motocross and trials bikes in his collection, and he uses them all regularly to fine-tune different aspects of his riding technique. So here's the current stable, he says. Here's the enduro bike. That's useful during the final days for refining your technique. I use a super motard. It's really just for fun as much as anything else. The motocross bike I use to train for speed and technique. And the trials bike really fines up your practice for extreme situations. There are two sides to every Dakar. For the factory riders, it's all about minutes and seconds. For the amateurs and for the fans, it's more about survival in extremis. Being in Africa for many days and spending a lot of time in the desert, says Mark, has developed my adventurous streak. So now I really like that side of the Dakar as well. I really appreciate it. In the beginning, I was totally focused on the race, 100% on the riding. But now I can take time to appreciate the other side of it, and I really enjoy the adventure of it all. The Dakar, it seems, has got under his skin.